They got whatever they wanted. It could have been 3 or 4-0.
West Ham to beat Arsenal next week. That's it.
Boy, that's such a big game for you guys.
Mendes, I've never seen him get skinned more in a game. Like
Yeah.
ever. I don't think like I've usually
Where they like put the shawarma
Yeah.
thing around, and he's like passed out on the field. They're using it like smelling salts, and he just gets up like this. Hey guys, welcome back to the TBG podcast. This is number 5. We took a little break last week, and we're both hot off of watching the Manchester United, the Northwest Derby. Real tough one to watch for me, other than about 30 minutes, which is pretty typical for Liverpool. But what were your thoughts on the game? So, like,
You guys got given 2 free goals and then 4 clearances again. And then Kobe Manu had a great game, I think. Obviously the winner, but yeah, United looked good, but I mean they let you guys back in the game and it must be definitely left a sour taste in your mouth with the way.
yeah, one thing I'll say about Kobe Manu is like I can't believe Amram didn't start that guy. He's great. Like he's a great player, and like as a youth player, like you can actually rely on him. He's played at a Euro, I think, Euro Cup. Great player. But that whole middle of the park situation in the first half is kind of where I wanted to start this. And I just wanted to ask 3 quick questions to you as someone who doesn't watch like Liverpool games typically. I just want to see what your rhetorical sort of answers are to this. So who would you say is United's biggest creative spark?
Bruno Fernandes.
It's pretty obvious, right? It's the guy with 19 assists, yeah? So, okay, so now who would you say in Liverpool's lineup would you back to close down space on him and like stop United's biggest threat in the middle of the park? Who would you... There's 2 guys that come to mind, maybe even 3.
Are you saying like even off the bench or just like who started?
No, like who started in that lineup, who was available? Who would you back to actually like shut down
Gravenhurst
Bruno?
probably, I would say.
Who?
Gravenhurst maybe.
Gravenberch?
Yeah, Gravenberch, sorry, yeah.
Soboslai, would you say?
You could do Szoboszlai, but I mean, again, he's been playing everywhere, so I don't.
Yeah, Soboslai. I could even say Verts, like closing down space and pressing their most important player. That's kind of who I would go with. So with Ekitike, Isak, and Salah out, who would actually play up centrally, up front?
Oh, I mean, there's Gakpo.
Just has to be Gakpo, right?
There's nobody else.
From a logical standpoint, it just has to be Gakpo. So I need to know why, when in the first half, Soboslai and Verts were at the top, pressing no one, trying to press, but no one would back them up behind them. Gakpo hugging a touchline on the left-hand side for his defensive prowess, and why Bruno was allowed to do whatever the fuck he wanted. Apologies for the story.
No.
Whatever he wanted. Bruno got whatever he wanted. He was the sole purpose the second goal went in because he crossed that ball into Šeško, and then it probably should have been put in the
I think
first.
it was like off the keeper's, he just touched it and then hit him and went in. I don't even think he got the assist for it.
But it came in from that first cross where Šeško's wide open and he misses, and then it just rebounds back out. And bless Freddie Woodman. I thought he played pretty well for a third choice keeper, but like that's just not an easy one to keep out. So I think the first half setup was just shocking for me. Like I don't know what Slot's going for. He's always been way better at reacting than actually starting off with the right setup at the front. And like with Gakpo centrally second half, you saw exactly why we needed him up there. And if he set that up for defensive purposes, they got whatever they wanted. It could have been 3 or 4-0. It was closer to being 3-0 by halftime than it was to 2-1. Let's put it that way.
I mean, like even at the end of the game, Dalo could have made it a 4th one.
Absolutely, and that's like
it's garbage time for sure.
Throwing the players up, but the first half setup was just so negative, and yet with the negativity of it, there were so many glaring holes there. So if Gravenberch is the only person you're going to set to stop Bruno, who's stopping Manu? If Diallo cuts inside, who's stopping Diallo? Like Gravenberch can't handle all these guys. He's not Fabinho, and he's never been that profile. So I thought we were set up to fail from the get-go. Like we were not good that first 20, 30 minutes. And even like as the first half ended, there wasn't a chance in there where I thought, oh, we should put that away. Like there wasn't a chance. We had one shot on target from outside the box, and it just wasn't good enough. Again, I don't blame the players as much. I thought the setup was horrible to start the game. But then again, getting into the second half, like...
And Jones started at right back, no?
Jones started right back out of necessity.
I just think it's
Um,
weird. I mean, I guess not weird, but obviously you have Frimpong, and then just with all the stuff in the media this week with them saying pretty much they're gonna let Jones leave for free,
I just don't
which
get that. Like
I
Jones is
yeah,
so
it
useful.
makes no sense to me either. And I know there's obviously Inter Milan's right there, but I think there's a chance he talks to other Premier League clubs for sure.
And why wouldn't he? And why wouldn't he
Yeah,
if he's gonna leave for free? And he's been on like an academy wage for a long time. Like for like 5 years when he's been in the club from like 18 to the age of 23. I forget how old he is now. He was on like 15K a week.
yeah. I mean, I obviously it's good he's playing now. I guess with the World Cup coming up, but it's
It'd be great if he if he went on the plane with them
he hasn't
because
been
I think
playing
he's
midfield though.
super
That's the only
useful.
thing. I mean, Kobe Manu obviously new contract, and then scores today, and like you said, it was crazy he wasn't playing before. But
Yeah, and I thought United did exact like well, the one thing Carrick's done so well with United is simplify everything. So it's simple. If they can't find they try to break at pace. They try to be very direct, which I love. It's the reverse of what I've loved and hated about Liverpool and United for years. Uh, Bruno unlocked the second goal for sure. The first one was a little bit kind of helter skelter, but again, like we weren't on the front foot. We had like 10 guys behind the ball for
yeah,
the first 10 minutes of the game. Um, so I just I was shocked to see United let us back in the game. Diallo's square ball was awful.
yeah, that
And then we
was
have another individual moment of brilliance where Soboslai weaves through it. And thank God. I think Gakpo makes a great run there. I
yeah.
don't think he's ever getting the ball in that situation, but he makes a good run to drag some players. But it's super finish from Soboslai. And then Lamens just makes a complete head scratcher.
Yeah, I don't. I think. Well, I know Dallo because, or no, sorry, not Dallo. Yeah, Ahmad when he came on, that was like one of his first few plays, and like it was right off the kickoff, was it not? Like it was pretty. It
It was
was
like
on.
it was like the first 2 minutes of that half.
Yeah,
And
it was pretty
it
quick.
was a silly like, if you play a square ball, you know you have to put pace on it. And it was just a
Yeah,
weak square
I don't know.
ball.
And then the second goal, I don't know. He didn't even like play it to a guy. He literally just put it in the middle, hoping. And yeah,
Yeah, it wasn't a good ball from like any standpoint. I
but
don't think it was.
honestly though, like he's a young goalkeeper, and I think that's the first mistake he's made since like because he's been playing
Yeah.
consistently for how long now? I'm trying
Well,
to think.
he is a good he's a great move on from Onana, where I actually think United have some players that they can kind of see as like stalwarts in there. So
Yeah,
now you can add to this squad. I'm not going to get ahead of myself and say they're going to be contending for anything by next year because when you don't play Europe for an entire season and then you get knocked out of both cups in your first
yeah.
try, they've played total 40 fixtures. Whereas, like you look at Liverpool, Arsenal, City, we've played so much more.
Oh yeah,
So it's
way
going to be
more.
a different test for them next year to see, even if they just got top four again, I think that's another successful year and they built.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
they
I
look
think
good.
Cunha's been a great signing, and Buemo started off really well. I think he's dropped a lot the last few weeks for sure. But again,
Mhm.
it's he's not well. He was with Brentford last year, and they're trying to get into Europe now. So again, like I think that'll like you said with Cunha and Buemo, they haven't played 50 plus games before. So
No,
I'm with you on
I
it'll
like
be
Cunha and
yeah.
Buemo quite a bit
I think
actually,
they've been
but it's
great.
just, but again, like you said, like they haven't played that many games, and it'll be interesting to see what they do in the transfer window in the summer because they could go on and be good. I wouldn't even, if I were a United fan, I wouldn't even mind if they kept Carrick, if they
Yeah,
couldn't get the right guy. Like
I don't know.
I think
My
that's a
only
great
thing with
setup.
that is they've had that before where Ole came in, interim manager, and then they keep him on, and then the form kind of disappears.
Mhm.
And it seems to be United's always been the same pattern, you know. And then nothing good happens, and then they lose two games at the beginning of the season, and he's out, and you have to blow it up. I think United, I'm with you. They either got to bring someone in like pretty
Mhm.
early on once the season ends, or they're probably interviewing now. But I know Carrick's openly said, and
Yeah,
he's earned it. That's the thing. Like they haven't fallen out of third, and they're pretty much I think guaranteed champ. Or yeah, uh, I would say for now they're probably guaranteed champions. Yeah, they're sitting on 64. So
just with the context of their situation, what they were last year, the pain that they went through with the Amarim situation, and what I'd probably expect of them next year, I wouldn't. It's not to say that Carrick needs to stay on forever, but if you can't find the right guy that you really like to take over like immediately this summer, they should keep him. They should let him build a platform to which eventually he lets it go. He gives it off to someone else because they won't find another manager in the on the planet um, who's like the United legend who has experience who knows how to manage and then will willingly give it up.
No, I
Like
agree.
he'll willingly give it up.
His roots are in the club. He only knows Man
Exactly.
United. He only knows Man United. So,
And there's a portion of the United fan base that just need it. They
and I feel
need
like
a
the
guy
players
who
are
they believe in.
backing him too. Like the players are backing him. I think because I know Maguire's got a new contract. Obviously, Manu is just on a different level of form since he's come in, like the best. And I think they said this is like the first year in how long that United have beat Liverpool home and away.
This is
Not
the
to,
first
not
time in
to,
a decade. This is
yeah,
the first time in a
not
decade
to
that they've done the
put
double
salt in
over
the
us.
wounds or anything, but
No, it's true. Like nothing. Listen, nothing hurts me anymore in this season. I kind of went into this game knowing we were going to lose it. I was just shocked at how quickly we went down 2-0. Um, but again, it highlights the issues. Like we have on paper a better team. Even with the injuries, I think on paper we have the better team.
yeah, yeah.
The setup was
One of the best teams in Premier League for sure on paper.
yeah, and it's disappointing to watch what we're becoming. And I know that Slot is forced to play certain guys, but even if he wasn't forced to play certain guys, he would still play a couple of them into the ground. Like Gravenberch needs a month vacation in the middle of a season before we actually see how good he is again because he's exhausted. He plays every single game without fail, and we can't keep judging him on that form. We probably can't do the same thing with McAllister, but McAllister's been dreadful this year.
Yeah, he's been. I was gonna say too, just on top of that, how always a season after a World Cup, it's always kind of up in the air. I find
Mhm.
considering preseason start in August and obviously the World Cup June to July and 4 weeks off out of 52, like a lot of those guys don't come. Like they don't. I remember what was it with Man City when they won the treble and there's the Euros. Like those guys weren't back till like a week before the Premier League started because
Yeah.
like they just you physically can't you can't have them there like, and then those 3 or 4 games at the beginning of the season are so important too, right? So that's where the depth comes in, and that's where I think, I mean, United are going to have a decent amount of players going to the World Cup, same as Liverpool, obviously, but like, yeah, like it's that's my only worry with a lot of these teams going into next year. And obviously, United, they're going to be playing way more games, and then you have all the guys now who are like, because yeah, Cunha is definitely at the World Cup, I think, and Buemo will be there as well. Fernandez, like yeah, the list goes on, but it'll be
Yeah.
that's my only worry, and like just saying with the amount of games he's already played, and then he's going to be playing for the Dutch at the World Cup for sure.
There's just too many games. There's just too many games. And I know the sports science is so strong nowadays and keeps improving on health and preventative towards injuries and different things like that. But it's just too many games. They had the Club World Cup last summer. So a lot of these guys didn't even get that full rest off from that tournament. If you're like a Chelsea player, like it's clearly had a knock-on effect on them this season. Um, and then you just look at the amount of games, the amount of international breaks, and like the international breaks leading up to a World Cup are also very, very important for them to even make those World Cups.
Yeah,
So they're going at full speed ahead for a lot of these fixtures. And I know it's easier said than done that these managers need to learn how to rotate a little better in the situations, but at the same time, everyone's got a job to do. Everyone's on the chopping block if you don't do your job well enough in the modern day for football. And it these guys are tired. We're seeing a lot of guys go down. Ekatike won't be there. Davies was a real threat to not be there, and he's hardly even played this season. Like,
yeah. I mean, he's starting now. He started finally, which is good. But again,
mhm,
it's yeah. I don't. I'm with you on the amount of games they're playing is crazy, and
it's
they
just a
don't get
lot.
enough time off. That's the biggest thing. But
That's
that's why. But again, that's why. Like I think Chelsea, their whole plan was, oh, we're gonna try and be in so many competitions, so we're gonna go buy 3 teams. But then the problem is now you see with how high the level is, you can't be rotating as much. And I think United went out. I mean, obviously they went out so early in some of those rounds, but
yeah. Well, there's also a product issue where it's like some of the games are becoming a little duller because players are tired by the 70th, they're gassed by the 70th, 80th minute. So it's becoming very dull. Like Arteta said something, and I don't typically listen to everything Arteta says, but he basically said he really enjoyed watching that PSG Bayern game, but at the end of the day, they've had their leagues and they've had their leagues wrapped up for a period of time. They play less games than the English teams do. And to a certain extent, the leagues actually help them reschedule games to improve their performance in the Champions League. England does not do that. Like there are certain leagues that will do that. I remember that the Dutch did it for Ajax.
who was it? PSG, or who are they playing as? Like
PSG was playing
Rennes,
us.
or
PSG was
no?
playing us, and then
One of
they
the teams,
scheduled the
though,
last game.
the French team, like put out like a statement, just being like, it's this is unacceptable that they're changing it just to support them for this. Like we want to play now.
Mm.
Part of it, like, and yeah, but
Yeah, and the leagues have final say with that, unfortunately. This is the thing, like with the schedule down the stretch, like Arsenal have had to play 3 games in 7 days. City are going to have to do the exact same thing down the stretch because there are 2 games now.
they
Uh,
have to win. I just think also the Premier League. Again, I can't say because we're not. Obviously, I'm not saying like it's lower intensity in these leagues, but if you think about it, the Prem definitely has the highest intensity. All the players say
yeah,
that, all of them. So I think it's just. And again, that's not taking credit away from Bayern or PSG because I still think they're favorites over Arsenal, who are
yes,
still left. But I'm with you.
it's a more physically demanding league for sure.
And
I
now,
don't
like
think there's any question.
Bayern, what Bayern confirmed the league, and like they don't even have to worry about that now. So like they, I think saw like just like 2 or 3 weeks down in a row, like most of their starters aren't even starting. Like I think Bayern tied this weekend.
Yeah, it's just a leap in quality between Bayern and the rest and PSG and the rest in their respective leagues, where they don't have to be at full throttle for the entire year and they can focus in on the Champions League. And that's not to say that if England got the same this season, that you'd see like a lot more English teams down the stretch. I actually think the English teams have just been poor this season, like from a quality standpoint. That's not to like take away from like Arsenal and City going for the league. It's just noticeably been down
Yeah,
in terms of quality. You can tell by all these games against foreign sides that we're struggling. We're behind on it. But there is also the physical aspects where like we're losing players, a lot of injuries. Arsenal's been one of the well set up sides where they have a lot of depth regardless of their injuries. So
still not going to win the league though.
boy, they're getting. I'm a little nervous. Let's talk about the Arsenal Fulham game. I know we didn't see much of it, but I saw the playback of the first half, and we were talking on the podcast 2 weeks ago how well at least I think I mentioned that I haven't seen Arsenal play a good game in a while. That was a good game. That was the first time I've seen them actually show some front foot attacking mentality without just scoring a goal and then kind of sitting in a little bit.
Yeah, I watched. I think because I left, like I had to leave. But yeah, I watched like the first like 30 minutes, give or take, of that, and because it's the best start I've seen them have for sure. Just like the intensity,
And they
without
could have scored more.
yeah, and I mean obviously Saka starts too. I think that was his first start since coming back from injury. I think in a
Yeah.
while, and Joker, beautiful assist to Jokeres on the first one.
Oh, so good. He dropped this man on the right hand side and then sends in that great ball on the floor.
I think
Yeah,
it
it's
was
Saka,
was it the American? What's his name?
the American.
Plays left back on Fulham.
Oh, Anthony Robinson.
Yeah, I think it was on him.
Oh God.
But yeah, no, and then obviously Saka scores another one and Jokeres as well. But again, 3-0 at half, that most times it's unless you're playing a higher level, not taking anything away from Fulham, but I just 3-0 down at the Emirates away is pretty much tells you all you need to know, especially at halftime too.
Yeah. And all these games are going to be pressure filled for Arsenal. So I
But
think it's
I
definitely different seeing Arsenal go out and get it as opposed to their usual last couple months of create enough chances that you can win the game, but make sure you don't lose it. That feels like how they've been for about a couple months.
and I will give it to them that they kind of had their dip that we were talking about, and obviously, but I think now, I mean, you tie it away at Atletico. We'll get into that later, but obviously, just and then you win as well. I think they're kind of going up a little
Trending
bit.
upwards
They're
again.
trending upwards again, so I will give it to them, and I think this 2 game difference between them and City now definitely puts the pressure on City, and like they got to play Everton too, and
Yeah.
Everton have been I think have been great so far, so I don't.
They've had a little bit of a dip, but Everton has that weird ability to just shock anyone at any time because they can be compact when they want to be. They gave Arsenal trouble a couple months ago. Um,
Got
it's
some
just
great
it's just
players.
a lot like, and now you look at the pressure of actually, shockingly enough, the pressure of goal difference could be a big thing. That's what I thought was so revealing about this Arsenal performance was that you get a 3-0 win. I don't think any would have guessed they would have won by 3 goals.
No, and yeah, I mean, I think does it go to head if they're tied on goal differential?
Sorry,
Does it go to head if they're tied on goal differential? Is that how it happens? Because I
it
think
goes goal.
now,
Yeah, it goes goal differential first.
so City are now, yeah, so 5 behind with 2 games, and they got to play Everton. I don't know who else they have to play.
They got to play. I don't have it up right now, but we'll talk more about that. It's Yeah, obviously only beating Burnley 1-0. It's weird, right? Like I don't know if these two teams are going to win out regardless, but I've never seen a title race come down to goal differential. And it's something that the teams have to keep in mind, which is
What
odd because teams haven't had to keep that in mind for
was
ever.
when scored the winner? That wasn't goal differential, right? They won by 1 point.
They won on no, they won on goal differential, but the goal differential side of it was already decided. Like they were up 9 goals.
They just needed the win. Yeah.
They just needed a win. Yes, they ended up tying on points, but I haven't seen a goal differential like this close. Where I think City's gonna have a slight advantage on goals scored, which would be the next
Yeah.
tiebreaker. But then I think after that it goes to head to head. But again,
Yeah.
that would take a lot of things
Arsenal
falling
right
into
now
place.
have scored.
67 and City
Yeah.
have 66, but with
Yeah. So I mean,
two more games to be played.
we just need West Ham to beat Arsenal next week. That's it.
Boy, that's such a big game for you guys. Well, I know you didn't watch the West Ham game, but I guess we can like dude, that's not a good result for you guys.
I mean, Brentford going into it was what, 5 draws and a loss in their last 6. But
Yeah, they
again,
weren't playing well.
Brentford away is always tough, and I don't know. Some of these, it feels like these away games we're just not up. We're not up for it. I don't know why we wouldn't be. I mean, I think there's a couple calls that went against us that could have been. I was kind of reading on Twitter a little bit. There could have been a couple penalty shouts.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I'll be honest. I can't speak too much to it. Obviously, not watching the full game, but 3-0 just kind of tells you what you need to know
Yeah.
somehow. And but yeah, I think what was it? I saw Bowen and Mavropanos get nominated for Premier League Player of the Month.
They what?
Both of them got nominated for Premier League Player of the Month.
Really? To be fair,
Yeah,
Mavropanos makes more sense to me than Jared Bowen. I think Bowen's played all right. I don't know if Premier League Player of the Month
I think
maybe
it's more
suits him as much.
statistics if anything, some assists. But again, that's the difference now of comparing players is you can compare them versus their stats, you can compare them versus how they actually
I
play on
know.
the field if you
I
watch.
know.
But so I mean, yeah, you know what? It's tough. I'm hoping Villa can win today. That would be great because it just pretty much again just cuts out the game.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's a lot of leaning on other teams to keep us in it. But again, if you're asking anyone, I think they would want Spurs to go down versus against West Ham. If you
You know,
ask me, a West
yeah.
Ham
You
fan,
know what's
but
so funny? Because I golfed with a couple of my cousins yesterday, and one of them isn't like a particular fan of anyone, but they want Spurs to go down heavily. And then I have a Chelsea buddy of mine who I talked to during the round, and he goes, "I don't really want to see Tottenham go down." And I'm like, "You're one in a million, brother. Like, there's no way
yeah,
a Chelsea fan doesn't want to see Tottenham go down." Um, it's odd. I think a lot. Me personally, I just want it for the experiment of it because we won't see it again.
no. And I'll be honest with you, I've said this to a couple of my buddies. I think I may have said it to you too. But if I think if Tottenham do beat Villa today,
It's looking
that
rough.
more than likely West Ham will probably go down. I just think on the fact if we have Arsenal and we have Leeds. I
Yeah,
think Leeds have now. I mean, Palace and them are tied on points now too. But I don't know. We're not hitting form consistently, and I think it's just. But again, if it's Arsenal, so I don't. I think we beat Arsenal away last year. Now that I think about it, we did.
yeah. It's
But
weird, right? Because you guys, there's so many London teams that have these like mini derbies. I'd like to call. They're not really derby games, but
yeah, no, I don't
they're
see
inter
Arsenal as
London
a.
club
Yeah,
games. Um, where I almost feel like West Ham get after Arsenal and Tottenham better than they would at us personally.
yeah. Like
You guys
I'm.
haven't had much success against us in the last number of years.
No, we watched the one game. It was what 5-0.
It was 5-0. We've beaten you guys a couple times in Carabao Cup quarterfinals, but when you guys play a London team, I feel like I always have more confidence that West Ham's going to pull something off.
Yeah, again, the thing with the next weekend with Arsenal and West Ham is both teams. I mean, it's title versus relegation too, so both teams will actually have something to play for. And I
It's
don't.
such a massive game.
But I also think it'll. If Arsenal go through in Champions League, do they play? I think the confidence boost if they know they're going to a final,
Yeah,
and then you have us. But then it's like if they lose, they're going to be down. It's like okay, now we only got the Premier League left. Like let's go and
I
again,
know.
it's a mix, but I don't know. I'm definitely nervous, but I'm gonna be what I'm not a big Aston Villa fan today. I know I saw Watkins is out, and then I know we were looking at the lineup, and they're not playing a lot of their starters because they're down 1-0 to Forest.
I know in the Europa League
Yeah.
semifinal that they're gonna really have to amp up for that. That's Unai Emery's favorite competition. And they've basically sewn up the top four spot. I know they're only 6 points clear of Bournemouth, but that feels like enough with 3 games to go, even if they were to lose.
Yeah, I mean, but again, if you look at Spurs too, like Solanke's out, Xavi Simons is out now, so I mean you're gonna have
Yeah,
Richarlison and Kolo Muani. I don't know if Ta's gonna or not. Is it no Miles or what's his name?
he
I'm
talking
trying
about
to. He played for Bayern. He plays for Spurs now. I'm blanking
Tell
out. Tell, yeah.
Matthias Tell.
Sorry, yeah, yeah. I imagine that'll be their front three. It's probably out now, but
Richarlison is probably going to be important for them there. I don't know. That's going to be such a like at the time of taping, we've seen the lineups and we know exactly. We haven't seen the game, and we know that Phil is kind of fielding kind of half B
is it
team.
is it at Villa Park?
It is at Villa Park. That's going to be like you guys need them to at the very least draw that game because, like you said, like
Yeah, oh yeah,
if they were to beat Villa here, it's going to look a little scary from here on out. But
and they have a
if they
better.
lose or tie, you look at the schedule. They have to. I think they have to go away to Chelsea to Stamford Bridge, which I know Chelsea aren't playing well, but you could get those guys up for that with the possibility of
Can,
throwing them down.
can you believe when we were talking? I think it was 2 weeks ago.
Hmm.
Chelsea, I think they were in fourth or fifth,
Yep.
and now they are in the same amount of points, 5 losses in a row. They now have one more win than they do loss, so
Wow,
13
they really
wins.
do have. They have 5 losses in a row.
Yeah,
That's
they're
shocking.
in the Premier League. Yeah, 13 wins, 9 draws, 12 losses.
That's
And if
shocking.
you think about the amount, like some of those games, like they could literally be like with United, or maybe not with United, or
Well,
yeah,
it could be a
yeah.
top five race if they actually decided to participate. Like you
But
even
now
think of
there's a
like three
chance they're not
wins.
even in Europe next year.
Like if they got 3 wins out of that five, and say they were like 3 wins is not like a ton to ask for a team of like Chelsea's prowess in terms of individual quality. So if they got 3 wins out of that five, they would be a point off of Villa and us.
Yeah,
So they would have been right there, and we would actually have more to talk about with the top five race. But for both of us, it feels like it's over.
yeah. I would say like I don't know. It's
Do you see? I don't have faith that Bournemouth win out. I don't have faith that Brentford win out. I don't have faith that Brighton win out, and I certainly don't think Chelsea will. So those teams are playing for sixth and seventh. They're playing for
yeah.
they're playing for Conference League and they're playing for Europa League, assuming that Chelsea doesn't go and win the FA Cup, which they in the middle of those 5 losses managed to eke out a win against Leeds.
Yeah, I mean barely.
Barely. I didn't see
Barely.
the game, but I think it was just 1-0.
No, I didn't watch it either. But
But you
yeah, I
talk about
think
late since we're just mentioning the relegation battle, because when we started talking relegation battle on this podcast, we mentioned 4 teams. We mentioned
Leeds.
Leeds, we mentioned Forest, we mentioned West Ham, we mentioned Tottenham. Leeds in their last 5 games have 3 wins and 2 draws. They're undefeated in their last five. What a turn for them to get
Yeah,
up and out of
I
there.
actually I watched a bit of their game, their 3-1 win, but I don't know. The commentator said too, like Calvert-Lewin's looking like himself again when he
Yeah,
was under when Ancelotti was at Everton.
I think it's a good level for him.
Yeah, and
That's not to like put him down or anything, but I don't think he's a guy who's good enough to go away with the England squad for big tournaments. But I do think that like at a Leeds where you kind of need that like prototypical sort of
but
striker, he's
his
kind of
goal
perfect for that role.
his goal was a striker's goal. Like it was just
Yeah,
he was in the right place and just it was a poacher goal, to be honest with you.
I think that's the perfect landing spot for him. There are just some guys who are not meant to go to these big clubs and expected to do something every week. It's just not.
Yeah.
I don't think that's Calvert Lewin. I think that's kind of what his level is, and that he had that level at Everton. They were kind of hovering around that 14th ish to 10th ish spot. That sounds about right for me for Calvert Lewin. It's not
You
to
know,
put
I
him down
mean,
or anything.
like you said, like 3 wins in their last five, 2 draws. It's huge, massive.
And they're completely out of it. I mean, 9 points off of Tottenham. They're safe. They're safe. You can't
I was
expect everyone below them to get the amount of points if you just lose out. So, congrats to them because I
if you
thought,
if you think about it though, now it's like you could have Palace in the Conference League finals because I think they won their
yeah,
game. Then you could have who is it? Villa in or Forest in the
mhm.
Europa League, and then so you could have 3 English teams and realistically winning out all the competitions if you think about it. Like there's a
That's true. I
possibility.
haven't even thought about that. Yeah.
Not that it's like a doer, but I don't think
They're
I
all in the semifinals. You'd favor Arsenal to go through now. They have to go back to the Emirates. Although I thought Atletico played great there.
Yeah,
You're
they.
gonna get one English team out of Forest and Villa, and they can beat whoever they play. Not to say they'll be super
I don't think
terrible.
the other side isn't that it's Bra. Is it Braga and
It's Braga, I think, who won the first leg, and it's Freiburg. So it's not they're not going into it as like heavy underdogs or anything. It's pretty much even. Unless you're Villa, I think Villa would be favored in that game.
oh for sure. But again, I mean Forest are peaking too. They've been. Where is it right here? Yeah, again the exact same as Leeds in their last five. 3 wins, 2 draws in the
Yeah,
Premier
they've
League.
just I didn't even notice that. Yeah, they've been playing great too. Where it's like without Newcastle's win over Brighton this week, they would have been at 42 points. And I know they're probably too far. Like it seems like that Palace mark of 43. If you get to 43, you're completely safe with
Yeah, and
with
I'll be honest. I've watched Forest a little bit, like Gibbs White and I forget the other guy's name. The midfielder said, no, it's not Aronson. It's
Anderson, Elliot Anderson.
Anderson. Yeah, they've both been. I mean, Gibbs White's second half hat trick. I saw that was
That was a great game with
and
Sunderland.
crazy. Those two could end up on the in the World Cup squad, which
I do
is
think they will too. Like I think they're both great players. I don't think Gibbs White would start per se,
Anderson.
but I do think Elliot Anderson starts. He's been
I
phenomenal.
I hope he does not go to Man City. I'll be so for real. I just think it's like
Yeah.
almost it's like it scares me on the Calvin Phillips level of just they're so good with where they were and then they go and then like you're never gonna play against Rodri. Not that he's in the same position, but I mean Bernardo Silva's leaving, so they could open it.
I would love to see Elliot Anderson at Liverpool. I think that's actually a great signing. I
Yeah,
think
that
we've
would
done away with a lot of the English players
he
for
would fit a lot better, I think, than
yeah.
Man City, but money talks.
We could go a little Brexit. We can go Wharton and
Yeah.
Elliot Anderson and transfer window. You never know
I
because our
mean again
midfield's
it's
struggling all season.
that's the thing, like with Pep though, like you could bring him in, and then who
Depends if he
knows?
stays though.
O'Reilly could end up just playing midfielder next year for all we know. You know what I mean? Like he'll
Yeah.
just, yeah, or we're gonna end up seeing Anderson playing CB or something, and I'm just gonna be like, yeah, this is just ridiculous. But
I think Pep staying or going though is right now like 50-50. Like I don't know if he stays, and if players know that,
if
they
they win the
also
if they
maybe
win the
sway to
Prem,
not go there,
yeah, if they win
right?
the Prem, sure, my apologies are so.
I think if they win the Prem, he actually has more reason to go. I think
Oh, I
this
was
will
saying
for
if
him,
they
yeah,
win, I think he's gone. I'll be honest.
because then he feels like he squeezed everything out of the club. He stayed here for a long time, probably longer than most people thought he would,
Because I
based on
think
like
that
Bayern tenure.
that old Chelsea manager's waiting.
Maresca, yeah.
He's waiting. I know there's always been, oh, company's going to come back and all of that, but there's, again, you're not leaving Bayern right now. I think Bayern. I mean, again, that Bayern PSG game was just crazy, but
Yeah,
I
let's
don't.
move into. Why don't we move into that a little bit?
Yeah, yeah.
We'll talk about the Champions League midweek games. I didn't see all of the Bayern PSG game, but I saw enough of it, and I consumed the highlights over and over. What'd you think of that?
Okay, so I missed the first 5 minutes. I think they scored pretty early. It was like the first 5 minutes, and then
Mhm.
I watched the rest of the first half on like the treadmill, and I was like, this is insane. But this is
Same.
what everybody wanted. And I
Mhm.
think on Enrique said like or Luis Enrique said some great stuff just about like that's how you like want these games to be, and he was getting criticized being like you conceded like 4 goals or all this, and it's like well with the level of firepower that both of those teams have, that's like that should be happening, and that's the thing like strikers and all that they're supposed to score goals, and it's the best of the best. I think a couple of PSG's goals. Again, the Davies, I don't think that's a penalty. That's so harsh. And that's my problem with VAR is you can look at a specific scenario from one angle at one speed, and then you could look at it again from a different speed, and it could look completely opposite. And he can't do anything. Like the thing is, it was arms are behind, and then it came out as the shot was going, and it bounced, then hit. That's
Mhm.
what and it's like a split second. It's harsh. And right
I yeah.
before, but yeah.
I think that if it comes off a part of the body than your hand, I don't think you can ever give it.
No,
Personally, I
it
don't
should
think
never be
if it
given.
hits the arm straight up because if the arm's anywhere and it hits the arm first directly, I'm fine with that. I get it. It's a handball. It's always going to be given. Whatever. If it comes off the body first, the defender can't tell where that ball is
Yeah.
going to come off of his body and where it's going to deflect to get off the arm. That's also an issue I had with the Ben White one. It's
Yeah.
actually an issue I had with. I know the other ones weren't handballs, but we had a lot of soft calls in the Champions League where I thought the Davies one was really soft. I know Kane scored that first penalty. I'm trying to remember. I think Luis Diaz gets hauled down, but again, I think that's relatively soft. I just think he gets positionally in the right place to make it tough on the ref to not call it.
And the problem, like these games and these fixtures, it's such
It
such
is,
fine
and they're
margins,
moving so
and they're
fast.
and they're looking for it
Yeah,
every single time, any little bit they're gonna go down. But again,
yeah,
that's how they're taught, and that's like I said, it's how the game's played now.
yeah.
It's exactly how you could compare it to like how the NBA is soft now too, and
Hmm.
how guys foul bait and all of that. It's the same thing, and like how we talked about back to goal, your
Hmm.
touch are going down. And it's just that's just how what the game is now.
It's
And
true.
there's no reason you shouldn't take advantage of it. I would.
Yeah.
If you're in the box and like we've talked about just how game can switch like that. But yeah, I mean, I'll give props to Bayern on going 5-2 down away and then still 5-4 still playing was yeah.
There was
Mental-
just so yeah. There's just so much quality in that game. Like just right throughout. Kvaratskhelia scores a gorgeous goal.
yeah,
Like gorgeous, gorgeous goal. He is so good. Due was like had his fingerprints all over the game. I thought Elise played well. I thought Diaz again is just like it hurts me seeing him play so
yeah,
well
I can't believe you guys let him go.
and kept Gakpo and kept Gakpo. Um, I just can't believe how well he played that fourth goal for Bayern, where he controls it and does a little body feint to make sure the defender is kind of like flat-footed. Just gorgeous.
And that
Um,
like Olize, like Nuno Mendes, I've never seen him get skinned more in a game. Like
yeah.
ever. I don't think like I've usually like if anything, nobody gets by him, but I just think Olize is obviously in the form of his life right now. And you could say a lot of the PSG players are, even Bayern as well.
Mhm.
Kane. But again, and what's the PSG guy who just I could never say his name right.
Who you talking about?
From Georgia.
Oh, Kvaratskhelia.
Yeah, I just I'm not even gonna try and say it just because I can't. Again, he's up for
I've
Ballon d'Or.
practiced in the mirror.
Yeah, but like there's just a bunch of Ballon d'Ors if you think about it, because you got Kane, Olise,
Yeah.
and then you have him, and then you got Dembele's there again. He has to be.
Yeah. There was a lot. We heard a lot of criticism maybe about like the lack of defensive structure. I think when you have two teams who are that offensively good and neither one relents, you're gonna have that. I like the fact that both teams back themselves offensively to go at
Yeah,
the other team and be willing to soak up whatever pressure that was there.
it wasn't like it was individual mistakes. It was just individual brilliance. Like,
It was
yeah,
just
okay, maybe we don't let
overall.
Olise walk in and shoot it, and the goalie was going kind of the wrong way. But at the end of the day, like there wasn't any individual mistakes, and it was just like we said, it was just
No, and you look at the XG game, the XG of the game afterwards didn't point to a 5-4 game. The XG that ended up happening, I think, was around. I think both of them got around two.
yeah.
So that those sorts of games would regularly end maybe 3-2, 2-2. Like we've had those games, but the difference was the quality of finishing, the quality of the final third actions. Everyone was just sharp. No one made the wrong ball, and it's just as a defender, what do you do? One of the best fullbacks in the world, in Nuno Mendes, could not handle what was going on because of all the quality going on, and that'll happen. The greatest defenders will still have their days where they get skinned.
Yeah.
It's just gonna happen because better offense always beats better defense.
What
But
about Davies? I think Davies came off at halftime. I think he
yeah,
got
he got subbed quick.
but also like even him, like I remember early on too when Bayern or when like the year they won the Champions League, or I remember in the final he got cooked. I remember. I mean, they still won obviously, but again, like you're going against like the best guys, and I think the next leg won't be as open as this one. But I can't say it's going to be 0-0 or 1-0 because I know Bayern are just going to go right at him, and I also
Yeah,
think it's different. Companies not there on the touchline. Not that it makes huge difference, but I think just more psychologically for the players, knowing your manager's not there. I think it's.
maybe.
I don't know
Yeah,
if that makes it more stressful or if it would be more freeing because some guy, I don't
I,
know. They're all pros, but it's
I always find it interesting when managers are not allowed to be on the touchline for the next game, but then for a fact that the guy who's managing is going to have an
he's
earpiece
just
in, and company's going to get his messages out anyways. Plus, he gets to see everything happen from a bird's eye view. So he actually sees how the formations are
yeah.
moving. I almost feel like he can get a better tactical
He adjusted it. They adjusted
feel
it.
of it.
I also just think the rule though, like he gets to go in and talk to them at halftime,
Yeah.
which makes I don't know, like you could say it makes no sense, but then I'm also like, does the band just not like is it almost pointless? I don't know,
Yeah, do
or
you
it's
ban
like
the earpiece? Like,
you ban the earpiece or do you ban like you can't go in at halftime, but then at the same time, yeah, I don't know. It almost
Ha-
contradicts it in a way. It's just a different, like you said, it's just a different perspective, and like what the inter manager is saying is just what company's telling him.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I don't think it'll affect them that much. I almost feel like company may have an advantage just seeing the tactical approach. But again, I, kudos to whoever is able to guess this one because I just don't know. I don't know if it's going to be low scoring. I don't know if it's going to be. It could be 5-4 again for all I know, because these two teams, Bayern will have to go for it, and PSG will know if we let Bayern attack us relentlessly, we may never get that edge back. This is also
Yeah.
the yeah. This is also the issue I have with people saying, "Oh, there was a lack of defense." I'm like, do you know how bad a game can go once you lose your tempo, once you lose control of a game? It's not easy to just pull it back. The manager can't just pull all the players aside and get it back. Once you lose control of the game for a 20-25 minute span against one of these teams, you're toast. You're toast, or you get lucky and they don't put one away.
You just can't drop off. I think
You
that's just
can't. And
and you
PSG
have,
will be
you have
thinking
to
that,
play and you have to attack, but I think Bayern are gonna go after it a little bit more than PSG. Obviously, and the players know like and one goal changes it. Like Bayern score and it's like okay now we're but I think PSG have the advantage of obviously you're going in a goal up. But yeah, it could
I'd call it 50-50 right now, just because you're playing
you,
at Bayern's place.
I couldn't pick one. I mean, obviously Bayern are at home, it's gonna be different, but
Yeah.
like I'm with you on it. You can't call it right now. There's just it's too up in the air.
And again, I just want to say it again because I thought Kane's just phenomenal, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's so good. I know there were so many good players there, and maybe I don't even need to pull out Kane out of the hat for that. I just, I really do think he could win the Ballon d'Or. He's just that good right now.
His pass to Luis Diaz got didn't I know the goal got all the focus, but the pass, if you look at it too, is just
Yeah,
crazy, crazy.
and maybe as a Liverpool fan, it reminds me a touch of. Obviously, it's from a lesser distance, but almost reminded me a bit of the Van Dijk to Mane goal that was scored against Bayern all those years ago, where
Yeah,
Van
I
Dijk
remember.
sends that long ball and then Mane's touch is just out of this world. Obviously, it doesn't look like if you mirrored them up, it doesn't look that similar, but the pass is equally as impressive, and the touch is equally as impressive with the finish. So
I, I will say though I'm with you on Kane's there for Ballon d'Or for sure. He
he
has it.
should be. He's just phenomenal, man.
But again, it's one of those things too. The World Cup is just going to be play such a huge part in how that
Yeah,
goes, and but that's why I like it because it's got to be a combination of how they do on the field and then also like what you win, right?
absolutely,
So,
absolutely. I watched. You know what? I did watch the Arsenal Atletico game in
yeah,
detail. I was home from work at that point. I actually thought it was a great game. Obviously, it's not to the level of PSG Bayern, but it was great. I thought Atletico played really well, considering Arsenal was, Arsenal's very proficient at being defensive and shutting down areas. But I thought Atletico may have been quite unlucky. It's weird. I thought Atletico after the first 80 minutes was unlucky to not be ahead.
yeah.
That penalty that was called and then repealed back. I'm glad it was repealed back because there was minimal contact. Maybe that's a little bit of
Was
a
it
talking.
Eze? It was
It was
Eze,
it was
right?
Eze, and I get why he went down. Um,
But again, like we talked about, you
but there's not
touch,
enough,
go
there's
down.
not enough contact.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's just not. And I'm with you on the. I'm glad. I thought it was a good game solely
mhm,
off because you watched what 5-4 the day before, and you're like, oh
yeah,
well,
yeah.
we know how this is
I
gonna
know.
go. Two ugly playing teams, and then yeah, no, I thought it was. I mean, two penalties, just two penalties. It's kind of to be expected,
Yeah,
but
it's
again, I think Alvarez is up there too in form as well. He's quite the player to watch. It'll be interesting to see what happens with him because I think there's been contract discussions at the end of this year. I know he's still in contract, but obviously there's the Barcelona rumors and he's you see all the movement. But yeah, no, I'm with you on that.
it'll be also interesting to see what the injuries towards the end of the game affects it because one team is very notably has more depth, and that's
Oh
Arsenal.
yeah,
Where I thought Arsenal didn't play as well, but they actually could have won that game down the stretch. They were all over them from the 80th minute on to the final whistle. Um, I also thought like special shout out kind of Griezmann's a little bit of a cornball off the field, but I love him. I think he's so good.
I honestly I think like obviously I think it would be a great way for him to go out. Obviously he's going to Orlando after, but
Mhm.
yeah.
He's going finally where he's always been meant to go
But how many
to Chalkland.
champions? if he makes the final, how many Champions League finals that'll be for him? Because
Three.
this will be the third. Yeah, to
It'll be his
lose.
fourth European final because they did win the Europa League a number of years ago, where they played Arsenal in the semis.
Yeah,
So hopefully that's a good omen for them.
I don't know. You got to look to. I mean, like Arsenal. Like who did they lose to? I mean, they beat Real Madrid,
They
and
lost to PSG last year,
yeah. So
and they stayed in it. They had chances to maybe keep it tied down the stretch, but PSG was so good last year.
PSG love playing EPL teams. It
I know.
seems they just love it. But no, I think I mean I thought Gyökeres has been even just off of the goals yesterday. I think he's been kind of starting to go up a little bit, which is good. But again, he's one of those guys when he dribbles sometimes. I'm like, oh,
I know.
I don't.
Yeah, I mean Jokeris, he played well this weekend. He got the two goals. Great header on the second one. Obviously, the first one was tapping, but I don't know. He's kind of finding his feet a little bit. It'll be interesting to see what happens in the second leg. I know for a fact that Atletico are less likely to win if this goes to extra time, and Arsenal have this game at the Emirates. I think they should rightfully be favored. But with that being said, like I thought they played well. I thought they were unlucky. Griezmann hit the bar where that easily could have fallen in.
There was a few chances, and yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm also just like we were talking about earlier. Arsenal are peaking upwards again.
Mhm.
I will give them that. So I think I'm with you on that. But again, it's just another one that's just so 50-50. You don't really know how it goes or how
Mhm.
Atletico are going to play because I don't think Atletico. I think they're going to be able to come in and maybe not drop as deep. Obviously, that's their tactics, but it's they were able to play through Arsenal a little bit. So, and again, Arsenal are switching their lineups up so much, right? So, I mean, I think we'll see Saka start this time because I know Madueke started the away leg. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it'll definitely be interesting. I know Alvarez went off injured for the last 10 minutes, and that
I don't
actually
think he played yesterday
I
either.
would I would guess no. They have nothing to play for in the Spanish league at the moment.
Yeah.
So
So I mean, hopefully he's there. That's a huge loss.
mhm.
Lookman's been brilliant. He had a couple
Yeah,
chances too. He could have, but again, yeah, Atletico got a great team. So, and I'm glad it wasn't a stalemate. It was just not a boring game because I know we both had our predictions. Everyone was saying
0-0.
it's
Yeah,
yeah. No, I mean I took draw. I said draw. It was free.
I mean to be fair, that's a good kind of guess. I really didn't think. Obviously, the chances either end we're not going to match it with Bayern PSG, and the chances obviously that's two penalties apiece. Two great penalties, by the way. But I think this Atletico team doesn't have the old figures like Godin and Wenfren and those old guys where they
Off.
could they literally would just sit in. Like I didn't feel like they sat in that much. I think both teams are really good at providing a low block in
Yeah.
situations, but they both could break out of it and go and create something. I thought Atletico's midfield did a great job of interlinking to actually get the ball up the pitch, as opposed to kind of just whacking it forward. They didn't use Sorlot, and I thought maybe he's injured. I completely forgot about him because
He
he's an
was.
option off the bench.
Yeah. I don't know. It's
He,
weird.
they didn't sub him on for Alvarez, so I have to assume that he's injured because they subbed on. I think it's Boyna.
Yeah.
I've
I
never heard of him.
I was gonna say too, because Atletico, like they have like a tiny team. There's a lot of small players
A
on
lot of
their team.
they're built with small, feisty guys for sure. They just don't have a lot of depth. So I think as it goes on, Arsenal will kind of grow into the game if it gets into like an extra time situation. But I'd like to see Atletico go through. I don't know if Atletico gives the kind of challenge to the next guys like Arsenal would.
Yeah, I don't know. I think there's a high chance the game could go to penalties again. I think
Mhm.
both teams will score, in my opinion. I just feel
I
that
could see
that's
a
from
1-1 again, and
I
we're
just
right
I
back
just
in
think
extra time.
again, I think all these teams there's so much individual brilliance and
Yeah,
all four of these teams.
yeah,
I would say Arsenal probably near the bottom on that, but again, you still have like Eze, Saka, Madueke, Martinelli he scored some
yeah.
big goals. Like I won't take that away from him. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
it's very
50-50,
exciting second legs this midweek. I'm really
which is
excited to
great.
watch them
And they're
if I
close
can.
fixtures. We don't have something where it's just like 3-0 the game's done. I mean,
Yeah.
I thought as soon as PSG Dembele scored that fifth one, I know I'm going back, but
Uh-huh.
I thought that I was like, oh, it's done. I didn't
Yeah.
think Bayern was gonna score again, and then they didn't even. But yeah,
I thought Bayern had such a good start, and then to see them, because I had to stop watching at like the 10th, 15th-ish minute, and then to see them go up to, I think it was 3-2 by the time it was half. I think the penalty was really late in the half,
Yeah,
and
it
then they
literally
got it to
ended. The half
3-2.
ended. Yeah, there was the VAR for so
Ne-
long, and then yeah,
Next time I opened my phone, it was 5-2. So I was just as shocked when I got home and I saw it was 5-4.
I was texting you. I think I texted you. I was like, "Yo, it's 5-2. Like,
Yeah,
game's done."
game's done. Yeah, I don't like both teams are so good. Great for Bayern to actually get back in it, but I agree with you. Like very easily, these semifinals can become a little bit anticlimactic. They won't be for the second legs. They're going to be really close affairs if they went exactly how that first leg went. And both fixtures are matched up with teams who are so evenly matched. So I don't know. I hope Atletico can keep it close. I hope it becomes like a really tense affair down the stretch. I think that'd be great cinema. But yeah, I don't know who to pick from Bayern and PSG. Bayern gets to go home. They're all healthy.
I'll be. I hope it's Bayern. Kane Champions League would be Kane Champions League, Tottenham relegation in the same
That'd be a
season.
crazy year.
That and then yeah. I mean, there's still a chance Spurs players go to the World Cup. Imagine relegated if you win a World Cup.
Oh yeah, you get relegated. You win the World Cup. Uh, oh, and I forgot to mention because the championship rounded up. Millwall missed out on it by a point, huh? They got to go
Yeah.
playoffs.
I
You
know
were
because
worried for a sec there.
is it Ipswich or because obviously Coventry won, Ipswich are I think won
Coventry
as
and
well.
Ipswich got in. So Millwall is gonna have to face Hull City, which I didn't know they were decent again, but they squeaked in
Well,
past
we
Wrexham.
got Liam Miller on Hull City, so I hope they can go up. That'd
Oh, I
be
didn't know
because then
that.
you because I think our Southampton and the
Southampton and
we gotta give
Middlesbrough.
Kyle Larin his flowers. Just been banging goal after week goals every weekend.
Have you seen on Twitter the Southampton fans got their hands on the
Brampton
um
Bagsman.
no they keep calling him that, but they got oh, what was it called? The shawarma commercial with Kyle Larin. Have you ever seen the
Oh yeah,
shawarma
yeah, I've
commercial
seen it.
where they
Yeah,
like put the shawarma
yeah.
thing around and he's like passed out on the field? They're using it like smelling salts, and he just gets up like this. It's unbelievable. They found it and they can't stop tweeting it out. It's hilarious.
No, no, that's. I think Canadians have had a good run. I think who was
Tejan
it?
Buchanan scored a great goal for Villarreal on the weekend.
Yeah, he came on. I saw that. I saw it was St. Clair versus Crepeau yesterday. Miami and
Yeah,
Orlando. Crepeau had some great saves. Again, that's another one. It's
that's a
so
tough pick there. I think Dane St. Clair, based on some of the lineups I've seen, he may trust him as a slight touch more, but that's another goalkeeper battle. Like you're gonna go off form.
yeah. It'll be interesting to see during camp because I don't think is there any more exhibit. They won't do any more exhibitions. The next game they play will be game one. No,
I think they're done. Yeah, they're done all the exhibitions
or it'll
because
be
there's too
behind
many
closed
games in the
doors.
schedule. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, probably.
maybe an inner. But yeah, I don't know.
It's a little
But
worrying if the Canadian guys actually have to go to that. Like you have Kyle Aaron and Liam Miller both going to possibly what is the championship playoff final. That's late in the year. That's pretty close to
yeah,
the World Cup time.
man, we're 4 weeks out.
I know we're so close.
It is crazy to think, but yeah, I don't know. Well, if Millwall don't, I hope they get. I'm also happy Wrexham aren't in it.
Yeah,
I'm yeah.
I didn't want to
That's
see that.
no. I was just I did not want to see that at all. But I just think if West Ham do go down, at least I know next year I'll get to go watch Millwall West
If
Ham.
if they don't go up in the playoff final, you never know.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Worst case scenario. Obviously, I
Yes,
hope
yeah,
Millwall lose, West Ham stay up. It's great, but if not, and we both end up staying, or we go down and Millwall stay down, I think it'll be. I have no excuse. My dad and I will definitely be going. I think we already said we have to go.
that's
I've already seen Millwall play away, and that stadium was
bad. Rocking.
those fans are just crazy. I no, I watched. It was Sunderland actually.
When's the last time you guys played Millwall and West Ham? When was the last time? Was it a cup competition? Was that in the championship in like the late two
I gotta
thousands,
I gotta pull it up. I think it was.
early 2010s? Didn't you guys go down like late 2000s with like Alan Kirbishley?
We played them in a cup, February 2012.
Okay, that was
Championship match at
oh
Upton Park. West Ham won
2012. You guys were
2-1.
down in 2012.
Yeah. Carlton Cole and Winston Reed scored for the Hammers. Well,
Let's go.
Liam Trotter scored for Millwall. We
Didn't you
haven't
guys
we haven't seen each other or played each other
didn't you guys
since
come back up in like the next couple of years? You got like fifth.
that year. I think we went up actually.
But I swear, Winston Reed, like the last, what was the last year you guys were at Upton Park? Like 2014?
Yeah, Winston Reed scored a winner against Man United.
I know. I watched. I remember that game really vividly for whatever reason, because you and West Ham and United were both going
Man,
for
I went
European.
to Upton Park 3 times. Very, very, very fortunate, and that ground was just brilliant. I loved that ground.
I hate the process of everyone trying to move into these bigger stadiums. I get it from a financial standpoint, but you lose something. Like the London Stadium, as nice as it is, like I don't. The
I
stadiums I
wish
like the
Spurs
least are
would
the
have
ones
gone
I
there.
feel too far from the field, and you have that track that you can just get rid of.
I know, because my dad and I have been. I mean, I've had 2 experiences at the London Stadium. One in the away fan section because that was the only way we got tickets, and like I was like
Yeah,
kind of like closer, so like I was closer. It was I enjoyed it a lot. Like it was,
yeah,
but then when my dad and I went the last time, we were like higher up, and like
yeah,
man, like you really feel like how far away it is and disconnected the fans feel. That's
yeah.
like the biggest thing. But I also think West Ham's become a lot more corporate. Like
Uh,
and that's my thing with like the NFL and all these is they're trying to kind of like copy that a little bit. I find some of them, and I don't really agree with that. And it was there was like who was it that Giannis and one of these guys they were out at a EuroLeague game and they could not believe like the atmosphere of it.
yeah,
And
absolutely.
that's the problem is they don't let the real fans into the games and
Don't
like
commercialize it too
that
much. I
yeah
know the money works, but that,
and
yeah,
I think part of it's like Tottenham kind of done that, and West Ham has followed in that path for sure. Just with I mean, London Stadium, like I think Spurs tried to get it too. I don't know how that whole process worked, but I think what I think it was is Upton Park was going down for when down it got taken down for apartment buildings,
housing development. It always happens.
and
That's
I
the
loved
same thing
where
that
it
happened with
was.
yeah. Isn't
It,
that the same
it
thing that happened with Arsenal?
or I don't know because that was like when Crystal Palace too, like with my dad and I, like we just walked from our hotel. We
Hmm.
were outside of London, and like it's just like through like a neighborhood, and then it's just there. And
Yeah.
that's what I enjoyed about it. But I think part of it was like a smaller train station. Or Millwall though, that was like a 2 kilometer walk from the train station to the
Wow.
stadium. I'm not even kidding you.
Where is Millwall? Like north, south, east?
I have no idea.
I don't remember.
I hope
Not, maybe I don't even know.
No Millwall fans see this because then they see I'm a West Ham fan and I get intimidated.
Facts. I can point to where the dock is.
But I have to go. I mean, or it's just West Ham stays up. Millwall does come up. I'm like, oh, God, Lord, good Lord.
Try telling someone who's like a big football fan, if who's been like a 1 year coma, that yeah, Tottenham went down and Millwall's gonna replace him. That would be crazy.
I hope Hull or Southampton come up because I think it'd be cool to see Canadian. Because I don't know, no Canadians have played in the Premier League. I'm trying to remember the last Canadian that played in the Premier League.
No Canadians.
No,
Liam Miller wouldn't have
Liam
played for
never. He
Liverpool.
played, I think, a couple FA Cup games or Carabao Cup games for
Yeah, he wouldn't
Liverpool,
have played
but
for
I don't.
Liverpool for that. I'm
Um,
trying to think of what Canadian would play. Junior Hoylett, QPR.
yeah,
Junior Hoylett's the only one I can think
I
of.
remember watching him get. He played. It was away at United. Old
He was like
Trafford.
he was kind of a poor man's like Aaron Lennon.
Yeah,
That's kind of his no,
yeah,
genuinely at that level.
yeah.
I'm sorry, Junior Hoylett.
You know who it's
The-
too has
the-
been crazy to watch is just Kyle Walker at Burnley. Just crazy how like
Completely forgot he was there
some
until
of
you
the
said it.
game. I mean, some of the games he played, and I mean, he was a huge part of City's success, obviously. But I also think though a lot of perhaps had a good way of finding guys who could really fit in the system who would elevate the team a lot
Yeah.
more. And obviously Walker gets. And also that's the thing when you like the bigger teams, like when you're playing these smaller teams, like you're not defending as much, you're attacking a lot more. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. It's one of those. Liam's been getting into good form, which is awesome to see heading into the World
Mhm,
Cup, and I think a lot of the Canadian players are, which is really really good, and I'm
mhm.
excited about that. Davies, even though he only played 45 minutes, you know what? Heading in the rest from the injury, and he'll be good.
That quality of game to play it just to get up to speed again is important.
And
And I don't
again,
even think he got pulled for a bad performance. I genuinely think Vincent,
it
the
was just
company paid
tactics. He
him.
didn't have a bad half. I'll be honest. I didn't think he had a bad half at all. I mean, the penalty sucks, but I think it's a yellow.
It's an
I
unlucky penalty,
yeah,
and
it's.
really, I think company knows he can't go 90 minutes at that pace
I
coming
hope
off
he
of
starts
injury.
again. I don't know if he started yesterday, but I hope he starts again. think
I
it's
could even see him getting
you
subbed
need his
on late in the
pace.
game.
You need his pace.
Yeah, honestly, late in the game, if they need him, I think that would be kind of more conducive to what they need.
So,
Um,
but I think I saw a stack he was playing again too. That's another
what does
important
Eustachio play? Porto?
LAFC.
Eustachio's at LAFC now?
Yeah,
Because I know he played in
him.
Europe for a period of time.
Yeah, he wasn't getting minutes. I mean, he was getting minutes with Porto, and then I think he left because he wasn't. I saw Porto just win the league too.
Yeah, actually, Mourinho's Benfica went undefeated. Kind of finished like second and third.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of Mourinho, it looks like he's gonna be heading back to Real Madrid.
I just need it. I need it. I
I,
don't know how it's gonna work. I actually have my doubts, but we need stories like this where Mourinho is in at a big club because I miss him.
well, he knows how to handle the big players. I think that's the biggest thing. And
Yeah.
also, Real Madrid have just been. You see all the stuff leaking out of the change room. Like, there's two or three guys who don't like working with. Or is it Arbeloa? Yeah.
They don't like working with anyone though. Anyone who tells them what to do in like a roughly angry tone. It's just they don't like it. They're a bunch of spoiled brats. As far as I'm concerned, from the outside looking in, it's exactly what it looks like.
And again, it's like PSG though. You look at like Neymar, you have Messi, Neymar, and Mbappe. No Champions League. You get
No.
all of them out. I mean, Messi just never worked at PSG, unfortunately. But
Yeah.
like Neymar, obviously, and then Mbappe leaves, PSG win the following year, and now PSG could do it again. It's
Looks
just
horrible on Killian.
yeah. And again, he's not up there for Ballon d'Or. Yeah, he's had a good season,
Yeah.
but you're not winning La Liga, you're not winning Copa del Rey, and not Champions League. But then again, he could turn around and he's just in France win the World Cup, and then he's there. So
I know. France is going to be strong too. I also saw reports that Jurgen Klopp was getting heavily considered, and I saw all these different think pieces like why Jurgen would work at Real Madrid and why no,
no,
like Jurgen's agreed to this, and I didn't believe one single piece that I saw about him joining because it is so anti-Klopp to go to Real Madrid. I may
no,
end up
there's no
eating my
way.
words at some point. I don't. I really 99.9%
Mourinho makes more
chance. There's
sense.
no shot that Jurgen Klopp wants to go to that sort of club and manage those sorts of players. It's just not. He doesn't want to do it. It's completely against who he's managed, what clubs he's managed, the fan base that surrounds the club that he's managed. It's just not. It doesn't suit him even one bit. He'd rather play pickleball.
Yeah. Have you seen on the Fabrizio Romano tweets, all of them about whenever it's about Real Madrid or Mbappe, there's like this GIF of him like a dictator Mbappe. I don't know if you've seen it.
I know exactly which one.
I'll put it up on the screen, but
You
it's
put it
I
up.
think it's the funniest thing ever. And every time
It's so
and
good.
it'll be the whole comment section like in like owner
It's so
Mbappe or
good.
something. Yeah,
It's so good.
yeah. But no, then I saw because like Mbappe was on vacation in Italy this week. There was something
Yeah,
going
that
on
was
about
crazy.
yeah. Again, you can't look into the details of it, and I don't know. La Liga's done. Barca's
He could probably just either his girlfriend may have really wanted to go, or he just wants a little bit of a vacation because he won't get one in the summer.
you know it's you know what, at the end of the day, if they have 2 or 3 days off, if they want to fly out somewhere, like it's not breaking the law. But again, it's the micro details and how fixated people are with what they're doing, and like that's what blows my mind the most is why people care so much what they do with their own time.
Absolutely, and
But you could look again. It's like the Aubameyang situation when he was at Arsenal. Arteta was like, no one leaves. We're training all this, and then he came late to training as captain, and then he was late again, and it's like okay, and we're done.
yeah, and
But yeah,
there has to be some sort of like kind of throwing it back to the Real Madrid situation. The reason Zidane worked at Real Madrid was because every player knows that Zidane's done it at that level, and they have a familiarity with him. They've seen him before. He has a commanding presence, so there's some sort of authority. And Zidane won't just tell you what to do. He'll actually give you that time off, but he'll give it to you strategically. So he won't just give you a week off when you think you decide the season's over. There has to be some sort of authority figure that's going to coax these players into playing for them, like Carlo did, like Zidane did. Carlo and Zidane seem like the only two that I really think could manage the squad. Mourinho's going to fall out with a bunch of them, and I just need to see it for the pure feeder.
do you know what I was thinking too about this? I mean, but Arbeloa and Carvajal have had a lot of problems, obviously.
Really?
But I was thinking, yeah, because Carvajal and him have had a bad relationship since he's been the manager. But now I'm like thinking about Arbeloa played right back. And Carvajal played right
Yeah,
back, and Carvajal played over Arbeloa for the most, like so much of it. So I'm not saying that's probably a big reason, but I also just think
maybe.
Trent. Again, I
Yeah,
haven't watched Trent much since their last Champions League fixture, but
yeah.
I'm also the Carvajal. He's had injury problems as well too, so I think he's going to be leaving at the end of the season. And yeah, they seem to be having a bit of a midlife crisis. I think right now.
They're just
Again, it's just
that's a problem I wouldn't want. I don't know
no,
how to
no.
solve it.
But at the same time, with the players they have, you gotta be doing more. Like you gotta at least win like a Copa del Rey or even come. They were there with Barca for a bit, but then like you can't be losing 2 games in La Liga back to back. You just
On
can't.
paper, they're not as strong as sorry. On paper, they're stronger than Barcelona for sure. But it's all about how these pieces work. And
And they
their
don't.
academies, Real Madrid, if we're going to do it comparatively with Barcelona, their academy stinks. Arbeloa tried to do some of the academy players and insert them in so that there was some sort of thing to fall back on when one of these players thought they were too big for their boots, and then he could drop them. But the youth players they have to bring in place all suck. Comparatively.
I mean, they got rid
Barcelona
of
could
Endrick,
have
yeah.
like tonight, like sorry, next year they could bring in a player I have never heard of who's 16 years of age. He'd make his debut. I'd watch the full 90 and I'd go, wow, that guy's good. But I won't be able to do that for Real Madrid.
And like yeah, if you I mean, look, how many guys are out of La Masia? You got Pedri, you got Gavi, Kubarsi, Lamal,
There's
uh,
more that I would not even be able to begin getting into
Fernan
it.
Lopez. Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Fermin
there's.
Lopez. There's
I
so
mean,
many of them.
it goes back, but I'm with you on like Real Madrid. You don't really hear about it, and then look, you bring in Endrick, goes off to Lyon. You have the one academy guy, a couple of them. They started a few games in the middle of the season, I remember, but like, yeah, it's not. But also, it's one of those prestigious things with playing with Real Madrid. It's like there's no, they don't wait for you to adjust. Like you got to come and show. And you saw with Hazard when he went, like you may be the best player in the Premier League, or you were for that time, but you don't do it here, and you're out. You saw Bale's form just dropped a little bit, and the
Yeah,
whistling
absolutely.
too. The expectations the fans have, and I mean, I get it, but it's also like they're spoiled.
Unbelievable.
They're spoiled. They're spoiled.
They are. They're a spoiled fan base. They've seen so much success over the past forever. Sorry, like forever. They've seen so much success.
Yeah,
And then you got the three-peat of the Champions Leagues. Even during that, they were getting on the manager for not winning the league enough, right?
they
Like
didn't win the league. I don't even think they
they
did.
didn't
And
win the
then,
league that often. Even when
yeah,
in that 3 year stretch, I think they only won the league once, maybe none at all. So
yeah, I don't
I'd have
know,
to
but
check that again. But
again, it's even like my opinion on Mbappe. Like you can't say no to Mbappe. I'm like
no,
a player's never bigger than the club, but like you can't. But I also think it was like I remember Mbappe was gonna sign for them, and then he didn't. He stayed with PSG,
yeah,
and then I remember there was a
took a
lot
big
of
fat
like
check for that too. Big
yeah.
fat check. Then Real Madrid said that they would never come back in for him, and then they did. So at
It
the
was
end
like
of the day, Real
then
Madrid,
the end of the next year, it was mid next year. He's like, yeah, now I'm ready, and it was like, okay, well, but I don't know, and I just think some of their guys haven't been they've been poor defensively in a lot of those big games,
but they're
but
just
they've
not
also
together. They're not a
yeah,
unit. They're a
and I
bunch of
think
individual, very talented players, but they're not a unit.
it's like Militao. I feel bad because I think he's one of the best center backs in Europe when he's fit, but he cannot stay fit to save his life. I think he's out of the World Cup again. He
Wow.
just got back and he's out. I think who else is out injured from them? I'm trying to think. There was another big one that got injured.
Well, I know Trent was injured most of the year, but he's back.
He's got to go to the World Cup, man. He's got to go to the World
Yeah,
Cup.
I know. That's a topic for probably pretty soon.
Yeah, we're gonna have a lot to talk about with some of the, especially England, Spain, France, and who gets left out.
We're going to talk
Well,
about basically every national team at one point. At some point,
Canada too,
yeah.
and there's got to be because we got some. We have three. There's a player on Middlesbrough as well. I forget his
Yes,
name.
English kid that
Yeah.
decided to play for Canada, defensive player. I know exactly who you're talking about. I forget the name.
So
Yeah,
but
there'll be
yeah,
a lot to talk about. Okay, guys, wonderful. Thanks for joining us for the fifth episode of the TPG podcast, and we'll see you next week.
thanks everyone. Have a great week.
Peace.